welcome in this new video. We're going to discuss the event structure right now. And the event structure is a more complicated version of the case structure. So the case structure was, if it's true, if the input is true, then this happens. If the input is false, then we're going to execute this code. And the event case structure is the more complicated version, and it's based on an event need to happen. So there's no input in there. There's just, okay, an event happens in the front panel, or you press a key on your keyboard, and then we're going to execute the event. Right, so let me just open up a VI and I will show you how it works. Right, Control T. So the event structure is in the structures palette as well. And let me just create one. And you can see automatically it creates a timeout. So it has one case in this case, or this event structure, which is timeout. I can click on it and I can only see the timeout case. We can add an event, and we're going to, for example, let me just create a OK button. And we're gonna place this OK button outside of the loop. When I press this OK button, I need something to, something needs to happen. So because of this event which happens, which is pressing the OK button, I want a screen to pop up, for example. So what we're going to do, we need to add an event case in here. And we do that by right clicking on the event case and select add event case. Alright, this new case opens, which is case 1 in the right now. And what I need to do is I need to select, okay, what event needs to happen to execute this case. And I'm gonna use the OK button, and what do I need to do, or what do I want from this OK button? That's a value change. And you can see it's automatically, this value change is added to this event source. So event 1 or case 1 is executed when the OK button, a value change happens. Let me just use this as an example. Alright, so I have two cases right now. I have a timeout case and I have an OK button. We can use the timeout case and say, alright, if nothing happens in this amount of time, which we can input in here, then we're going to execute this case. But by default, it's not working. It's default, the input is -1, which means we're never going to initiate the timeout case. Alright, but we are going to initiate this OK, or this first case, which is the OK button value change. And what I'm just gonna want to have a pop-up screen, and I insert that by using, this is the dialog user interface palette. I've used it more often in this course, but I've never explained it. But this is the dialog and user interface palette. And here we have some pop-up screens, or we can have some error handlings here as well. We're not going into the error handlings right now, but they're inside this dialog and user interface. And that's because the error handling is part of a user interface as well, because if an error happens, then with these functions we can actually handle errors. So we can display to the user what error happened, how you can solve the error, for example. We're not going to focus on that right now. We're just going to use the one button dialog. And so when this happens, we get a pop-up screen. It has one button, which is an OK button. And we can display a message. And I'm just going to create a constant with, hi, you've just pressed the OK button. Alright. So when I run the VI right now, it's going to execute this code, but it can only execute this code when an event occurs, in this case pressing the OK button. So let me just press the OK button, and then, okay, we get this pop-up screen, hi, you've just pressed the OK button, and I press OK, and then my code is finished, because that's all there is. Let me, for example, display it in a while loop. So we're just gonna drag a while loop around it. We're going to let me just create a control here, stop button. Right, I'll show you that as well. Alright, so if I run it right now, wait, let me, and I have a numeric indicator here, which is gonna show me every time this loop runs, this number is incremented. So let me run it. And you can see my program is running right now, but this loop counter is still on 0, because it's still waiting for this function which is going on here, which is going on inside the event structure. It's still waiting to be executed. So in this case, let me just press OK. You've pressed the OK button, and then it cycles the loop again. So you can see it's now at 1. And every time I press OK, the loop is executed again, and it's waiting for the OK button. If I press stop, it doesn't work, because the stop button, it works a little bit differently, because the stop button is, how do I say that? Because it's outside of this loop, it's still waiting. When I execute this loop, inside everything inside this loop, it's waiting for all the programming to be executed. And the problem is that this can only be executed when the event happens, which is pressing the OK button. Let me do it a little bit differently and show you how I use the timeout state. So we're just gonna use 1000, and that means that if we run the program right now, if I'm doing nothing, every second the timeout state is executed, which is nothing in this case. And when I press the stop button, now it works, because every second, every 1000 milliseconds, this case is executed. Alright, and let me run it again, and you can see every 1000 milliseconds is in increments, and press OK. Then the OK state is used or executed. Alright, so this is how the event case works. In the next video, I will show you an example on how we can optimize a code that we've used a lot. Alright, so see you in the next video.